What's up, everybody? Welcome back to JMT. Today we're doing a 40 millimeter lift on the front of this 2015 S510P Daihatsu. 40 millimeters is what, 1.575 inches or something like that. Doesn't seem like a lot, but on these 15s, 14s and up Daihatsus, they don't need a whole lot of lift to make a big difference. So what's nice about it is we have camber adjustment, and you can also fit this on different size struts, as that oval allows you to get it in, get the bolts through, as you have different alignments for your bolts on different struts. Biggest thing about this lift is your camber. Setting that camber back, and 1.5 inches, it's not throwing out your alignments for your CV joints and stuff like that. So, and we're doing it on the bottom because on these newer trucks we have, instead of 3 bolts holding the top of the strut down, we have one stud, which is actually part of the strut itself. So if you lift from the top, you would do like a little puck or something like that. You screw it down on top of the strut, put a bolt through the top where the strut would usually come through at. And the problem with that is that's going to move around. You're putting a lot of leverage down here, and it's weak up here. So we don't do that. You'll end up snapping a strut off, and well, struts aren't cheap, so we have a better way of doing it. Not only that, but with this way we get camber adjustment. So we're going to get started. We're going to get this bracket set on, and almost forgot to mention we have these little spacers that go in between where the knuckle would normally set. That way when you cinch it down, you're not bending the strut. We have these little brackets here. This goes at the bottom of the bracket. It would set in just like so. That's actually a flip over. So here's your camber adjustment, and it's notched out to where it'll clear your strut. That way you can get it further in to do your adjustment if needed. So this will go on here in a minute. There's another one. This one on. We'll get the nuts started. I'm going to leave them loose so we can have a little bit of movability. Alright, so these will go in between the bracket and the spindle. So we'll set it in here. Put the other bracket in. We got one on each side. Excuse me. We're going to nut on this one. Set out. Ready. As soon as I find the bolt, slide it back in. This is actually the most difficult side because it is the short shafted side, and the CV shaft is short on this side, so you don't have all the room to play with like the other side. A little tougher to work with. There it is. Oh, too far. Get this slid in place. There we go. Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. Alright. 17mm bolts, same size as the factory ones that came out. This is the wheel speed sensor. Sorry, I have brain fart. Wheel speed sensor. It was originally behind the strut. We're going to move it around to the front of the strut to give more mobility, more room for this line. We also have this little guy here that moves the brake line from where it would mount onto the strut, moves it down, so you got plenty of room. As you know, everything's moving down, we got to move that brake line down as well. So that'll come here in a little bit, but let's go ahead and get these tightened up, get the camber adjustment done on them. Snug it so we can still move. Now for a camber adjustment, I use a magnet, pinion angle magnet. And sitting at this, get a flat surface right there. We're about 5 degrees out. So, the easiest way I found to get this strut pushed is use a C-clamp. Clamp it here. We'll push the top of this spindle in. We'll check our gauge. About 3 more degrees. I'm actually going to take and jack this side up just a hair. To compress that strut just a little bit, just as if it was sitting on the ground. That might actually be right on where we need it. And it is. Perfect. So that was about 1.5 degrees off before I raised the jack on it. So I raised the jack, it set it right on to where it needed to be, which is 0. that's that. Camber set, brackets on. Get some leverage on this and cinch these down. Don't want that moving, ever. Might be a little long on this side, so I'll put some big 3/8 on it. Ugga dugger dugger. Till I have a lift, so I'm not sitting down all the time doing this. Now we're gonna get to the lines. Get these lines relocated. So I'm gonna put a self tapper in here. We've got to actually get the bracket off so that we can realign it on the wire itself. Excuse me. And this bracket's actually coming off and staying off. There's that. This tab, plastic tab that mounts to the strut. Screwdriver. Need that, and it has a rubber line or rubber hose on the electric line itself, so we can move this up and down with the wire and reset however we need it. So it actually has to go up because it has a plastic clip that goes there. Set it here, lock it in. Move around and see how we're going to relocate a bracket. There. Okay. All right, give me a screw. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so We've got the lift on the front. Camper is set. My phone stopped recording and I didn't realize it. That is the drop bracket, and it is bent a little bit, bent forward, so that we take a little bit of the slack out of here and give us more here in the front to allow, when this spindle turns left and right, you have plenty of brake line room because it pulls from the front and not the back. So we've got the wheel speed sensor relocated. It was there. We moved it up front. It's all put back together the way it should be, realigned, and this thing's ready. I'm going to set it on the ground. We're going to do another alignment check on it to make sure the camber's is actually right, but it should be. Alright guys, I'm going to go do the back. It's going to be a different video. We are putting extended shocks on the rear, and we are going to be readjusting the shackle height on it. Factory height, when you're doing, so this one's got the heavy duty rear bumper, and you can see that it's up at an angle because it's not integrated to actually be at factory height. It's made to be down here. But I'll explain that in the next video. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you here on the next one.